Hi everyone, thank you for joining me. This week I've been struggling to get out. Family matters have taken precedent over landscape photography. But this afternoon I've got a few hours and the weather conditions look promising for an image that I've been thinking about capturing for a few weeks. And it's a composition that involves including a building in a small way in a much bigger landscape scene. So I'm going to get my gear together, I'm going to get out and I'm going to see what I can do. I hope you'll enjoy the video. If you do and you're not already a subscriber, then please consider hitting subscribe. And if you're already a subscriber, thank you very much. I appreciate that. Let's get going, shall we? Basically what we've got in the background is Puig Campana mountain, and it should get some nice side light on as the sun gets lower. In fact, it's already got some quite nice side light on and we're still an hour, more than an hour before sunset. It's kind of framed in the bottom by a ridge line, and right on the end of that ridge is a small building. It's a pale colour, I don't think it's actually white, it might be like a cream colour. And I'm kind of hoping that when the sun breaks through a little bit more, because it's kind of half behind some clouds at the minute, that will also light up, because that's going to add my little bit of extra interest to the mountain scene. I'm shooting with a 70-200 lens, 200mm. This image will almost certainly be cropped 16:9. Maybe even 2:1, because aspect ratio on this will be critical to avoid having too much dead space. There's nothing wrong with negative space, but I don't want a lot of dead space. Too much sky will look horrible. I've got a circular polarizer on because I'm hoping that it will cut down a little bit of the haze created by distance to the mountain, because it's a fair way off, and also add a little bit of contrast in. I don't need to use an ND grad because I've got good exposure throughout the scene as it stands. At the moment I've got f11 and 1/13 of a second. Obviously that will change as the light changes. I am toying with the idea of throwing in an ND filter probably fairly soon and seeing what a long exposure looks like on that sky. It doesn't look as if there's a lot of movement in the clouds, but looks can be deceiving. So the composition on this one is pretty important. What I've got to try to get is that little building just being sort of in the intersection of where the mountain comes down and curves around. So the corner of the building as it comes down and the mountain as it kind of reaches the base and curves around needs to intersect. It keeps the building just separate from the mountain, otherwise it's just going to get lost in there. But on the other side of the mountain I've got a big that ridge line kind of comes down. If I have too much of that in there, that's not going to work either. So the composition is pretty important, and I've moved the camera around half a dozen times to try and get that right. So at the moment the sun has gone behind some clouds over there, and I think it probably in about 5 or 6 minutes it will drop out again, and then hopefully we'll get some more light on the scene, and that might be the best time to take the shot, but I'll hang around until the sun disappears and gets too low to put any light on the scene, and we'll keep our fingers crossed that it works. Still waiting for the sun to break through the clouds over there. Looks like it might be through in a couple of minutes. I'm not sure how long it will last once it does break through, so once it comes through we get some light on the scene. I'm going to take a shot or two while we see what happens. There's a lot more cloud around, even over by the mountain, than I was expecting. I was expecting much more kind of wispy high cloud. That's what the forecast was for. It was only sort of like about 30% high cloud. So I was expecting it to be very thin, but it's actually much darker than I was expecting. I'm not sure if that's good or bad. Just not what I was expecting. Looks like the sun might be about to break through the bottom of that cloud. So hopefully we'll get some light on the scene any minute. While the light's coming through, it's not putting a massive amount of light on the mountain, but it is just starting to creep down. So what I'm doing is I'm shooting a long exposure. I've put in a 10-stop ND filter, closed off the eyepiece, and I'm shooting a 2-minute 45-second exposure, which hopefully will work. Okay, so the light came onto the mountain, it's gone off the mountain again. And I'm just looking, it looks like it might be creeping in from one side again. So I managed one exposure at 1/5 of a second and one exposure at 2 minutes 45 seconds while the light was on there. It does look like it's coming back, so I'm probably going to do a repeat. Probably do a long and a short exposure. Yeah, definitely coming back. Yeah, definitely got light back on the mountain now and on the building. So I'm taking another shot, but because the overall light has got a bit less, this is going to be a longer exposure. It's going to be about 4 minutes. Okay, so the sun's disappearing behind a hill over there now, and the light's gone completely off of the mountain that I was shooting. And although there is a possibility those clouds might light up, without light on the mountain it's not going to be what I want. I want the light actually on the mountain and on the building of the little house to make the scene work. So I think I've got the image that I came for. I hope you've enjoyed the video. If you have, please consider hitting the like button, give it a thumbs up, sharing it on social media, and of course leaving me a comment. And don't forget about the subscribe button if you're not already a subscriber and you've enjoyed the video, of course. So that's it, I'm going to pack up and head for home. As always, I really appreciate you taking the time to watch, so thank you very much, and until the next video, bye.